And we are live. Welcome, Crypto Warriors, to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 372. Today is Wednesday, April 3rd, and I'm your host, Bitcoin Zay, holding it down solo as you see. Here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 3-ish. Bear with me today as I am a little bit under the weather. Maybe able to hear it in my voice a little bit, but yeah, definitely a little cold there, but it's all good. Definitely gonna push through and get the news out for you today. So, have some great news stories for you today, starting with the top story. The SEC just released its long-awaited crypto token guidance. Five-star Swiss hotel set to accept Bitcoin payments. Elon Musk calls Dogecoin my favorite cryptocurrency. And last but not least, Russians bought 8.6 billion in Bitcoin, says Kremlin economist. But first, let's see who we have in the chat box here. Dylan Darchfield, what's going on, brother? Tony Nolly, Donald Muhammad, yes, sir. Make sure you smash that like. Let's see who else we got here on Facebook. Thank you for everyone joining in. Absolutely. So, got some great news stories for you today. Won't hold you long. Like I said, I got a little phlegm in my throat, but it's all good. So, let's get into our first story of the day. The SEC just released its long-awaited crypto token guidance. Shout out to them. Let's give them a hand clap just to get them, it's taken long enough. It's been like a year now since they first came out and said they would do this. But they have published fresh regulatory guidance for token issuers, nearly a half a year in the making, probably longer, just based on the whole breadth of the ecosystem. But SEC Director of Corporation Finance, William Hinman, first revealed that the regulator was developing new guidance for crypto tokens last November. Other members of the agency, including FinHub head and Commissioner Hester Pierce, they've reportedly said the SEC staff is working on the document. It's finally here, and the framework itself is really kind of a non-starter for me. Some people tried to say that was the reason for the pump yesterday. We'll get into that more with the Russians later. But the framework itself was basically what we figured it was. It outlines a number of factors they must consider before they can offer their ICO as a security, or if it is a security. Some of these include expectation of profit, whether a single or central group of people are responsible for the specific task, and whether a group creates or supports the market. The guidance also details how issuers should look at tokens that have previously been sold before. So the ICO market of 2017. A digital asset previously sold as security should be reevaluated. So I think they're going to have, a time period where they go back, find the ICOs that may have been doing this or not, and may have to issue some refunds. But the criteria for the reevaluation includes whether the distributed ledger network and digital asset are fully developed and operational. The token is focused on a specific use case rather than speculation. That kills about 90% of them right there. Most of these tokens don't have a use case. It's simply speculation for something in the future. And I will say, somebody actually tweeted this out. This was a good call that most of the ICOs are ahead of their time. Like, they're coming out with solutions for a problem that doesn't exist yet. So, they're sort of ahead of the time. Not saying they'll go away forever, but a lot of those would go away with that second point. Also, prospects for appreciation in the token's value. And lastly, if it is billed as a currency, the token actually operates as a store of value. So that'll be even harder to prove, especially when a lot of these coins have lost 99% of their value over the last year. I know people are excited about the recent pump. However, it is not, big to me because we've seen, 99% loss or 90% loss across the board. So let's get into some of these comments. Let's see. G Graham, what's going on, brother? Khalil. Let's see. Clarence Dennison, hugging the blockchain. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, make sure you smash that like and share button. Like I said today, trying to get these followers up. The bull run does start in the next few weeks. One of the biggest things that happens in the crypto market is forget the price. Followers, retweets, all of this stuff, all this helps because, the track record we have, I just want people to remember who was here with you through the bear market, through the good and the bad times. So whenever that bull market does start kicking up, or whether this is a bull trap, who knows? Whenever that starts, just want to make sure we have, our name out there so people know who to trust. The Gentlemen of Crypto, like I said, been here through all of it. So get into our next story. Five-star Swiss hotel set to accept Bitcoin payments. Shout out to them. The Dodo Grand, a five-star hotel based in Switzerland, will begin accepting Bitcoin payments starting next month. This news was actually announced Tuesday, and they said the option will be available May 1st. Once this payment method goes live, guests can pay for accommodation, food, beverages, spa treatments. I need me a good spa treatment right now, all using Bitcoin. And I don't want to, get too deep into it. Like this will change everything. But the more luxury places have Bitcoin as an option, actually increases the adoption because you only need one rich person to say, hey, I'd rather use Bitcoin than cash. And then the other rich people will basically copy what they do. Because that's what a lot of people with money do. They wait for one rich person to say, hey, this is okay. And then they just copy it from there. And if you don't believe me, I've been doing a bunch of research on venture capitalists for my site, Blockchain Online. And one of the biggest things I noticed was that if one person invests, and all of a sudden all these other VCs come in and say, oh, yeah, we'll give you 10 million. Oh, yeah, we'll give you 5 million. But getting that first one is extremely hard. So for this company, accepting Bitcoin is very good for them because, like we said, 5-star hotel, people start using it, definitely get adoption in Switzerland. So a statement from them: many of the improvements in our service in recent years were made possible by advances in technology. As we believe Bitcoin is here to stay, it only seems natural to offer more choices in the payment process. Absolutely. Their director of finance is light years ahead of most of the people in the business field simply because of the statement, Bitcoin is here to stay. When I tell people that, most of their reaction is, well, yeah, maybe, but it won't do anything. And I was like, well, if you agree that it's not going anywhere and you agree people are building on it, then what exactly is your fear at this point? If you know it's coming, go ahead and start building towards it. Like I said, it's exactly like the internet. When people knew the internet was coming, people didn't act on it because they didn't need it yet. But it will definitely be needed at some point. So let's get into some of these comments. Let's see. Clarence Dennison, Bull Run is on now. Yeah, I'm waiting for 6K just because I've seen this story before. I've been in this market long enough to see the exuberance of people being excited and then the letdown of something happening. Because if you remember August 2017, when we pushed past 3,000, when we pushed past 6,000, we dumped all the way down to almost 3,000 off of one news story from Jamie Dimon. So if you think $1,000 candle going up can't happen in the reverse, just give it some time. Like I said, I'm not waiting. I'm not moved until it gets past 6,000. But once it does, it'll definitely be a good time because if we're back in the bull market, more people will come back, more people will, have questions, and everybody does well. So if you're in the comments, put it, your opinion on the market now. If it's alt season, I know some people are super excited that alts are coming back to life. Let's see, who else we got? Donald Muhammad, Russia said 2 million BTC by the end of the year. Maybe. These prices that they throw out are based on their own research, their own way of looking at it. But definitely, one of those things that you can consider, but I don't know if we'll hit 2 million at all. 218,000, maybe. I've seen that before. When we went parabolic last time, I saw calls for 50K like it was nothing. And, we were sitting there telling people at 20, 25 is when you should get out. And we were definitely right about that. So let's see. G. Graham, is there a true non-criminal exchange who doesn't commit fraud like Wall Street? No, I don't think there is an exchange in the world that is centralized, that doesn't have some sort of fraud or some sort of fractional reserve or some sort of underpinning that they have security-wise. I just don't see it. I've been on plenty of them in Wall Street and in the Bitcoin world. Decentralized exchanges are the way to, basically get rid of that fraud. However, they're not mainstream yet, and they probably won't be for a while. So once they are, definitely, one thing. It's basically at this point, it's the lesser of two evils. So if one exchange isn't as bad as the other, that's about as good as you're gonna get in the crypto market right now. Until they get to the decentralized exchanges. So let's see. Donald Muhammad, 55K to 100K. All these prices people throwing out, absolutely. Everything you threw out is a possibility. However, like I said before, I've seen this story a lot of times, and if we have a big BART dip back down to 4,000 next week, I wouldn't be surprised. However, if we shoot past 6K, that's the number I'm looking for, 6K. We shoot past that, that will trigger, most people buying back that dip from there. So moving forward, Elon Musk, he actually calls Dogecoin my favorite cryptocurrency. So if you don't know Elon Musk at this point, I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but he is the CEO of Tesla. However, yesterday he actually called, a month ago, he actually called Bitcoin brilliant. And then now he's saying Dogecoin might be my favorite cryptocurrency. It's pretty cool. And if you've been around, Dogecoin was started from a meme. I remember when it first started. I remember when they donated to the Jamaican bobsled team back in the day. I remember when they were doing charity for a lot of people. So Dogecoin has come a long way. And a lot of people thought, you know, he was putting this out, you know, just as a, you know, April Fool's Day joke. However, he did change his account to CEO of Dogecoin. And, you know, they kind of went back and forth saying that it would be worth 4.2 billion. You know, and Jackson Palmer, who created Dogecoin, he even states himself, I created this as a joke. And me and King actually talked on a panel where somebody brought this up about certain cryptos gaining a lot of value but having no use case. And Dogecoin is the main one we brought up, is that in this community, you can like something enough and the price will go up, but it doesn't actually have a use case for you long term. So Dogecoin is definitely one of them. And I think the fact that we have billionaires, Jack and Elon Musk and all these people joining in to the talk about crypto should trigger something in you. If you are any type of investor or if you have a business, you should definitely see that Bitcoin has been and will be the future. We've been talking about this for years. And at this point, if you're just seeing it, you should realize, you know, this has been going on for a while. So shout out to Elon Musk, giving Dogecoin a good shout out. Jackson Palmer, who created it, shout out to him for, you know, pushing with it. And remember, this is something based off of meme. This is not financial advice to buy Dogecoin, but it has risen in value a lot over the years. So moving forward, Russians bought 8.6 billion in Bitcoin, says Kremlin economist. So if you saw the price boost of yesterday to almost 20% in Bitcoin's USD value, and you started to wonder what happened, you know, why would it do $1,000 candle out of nowhere? Well, there is somebody who actually stated 1.8 billion, 1.8 million Bitcoins were bought by Russian companies and wealthy Russians. There is no direct involvement of the Russian state, but some who are buying Bitcoin are waiting that the increase in U.S. sanctions will make it possible to do international transactions as usual if they purchase Bitcoin as a way to circumvent these sanctions. 1 second point. Now, this guy, Ginkgo, actually states Russia's pivot towards Bitcoin is due to these mounting sanctions by the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, otherwise known as OFAC. A whole lot of alphabet boys out here. But we said this plenty of times before. Even if Bitcoin doesn't, you know, don't do anything in the U.S., it could never have been traded here in the U.S. at all. Other countries who don't want to have to deal with U.S. sanctions, who basically want to be like, look, I'm tired of you telling us what we can and can't do with our money, they're going to go towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They already started, in our opinion, with Vinnick, the case we talked about with BTCE. However, if this is correct and this did actually happen, I can tell you right now, there's no way there's wealthy Russians and, you know, that coordinate this together and the actual Russian state doesn't realize this. Because who do you think donates to Russian politics? Who do you think supports Putin when they need money? So it looks like, you know, that big investment in Bitcoin caused quite a stir, and it just goes to show you that this is not a U.S. coin. This is not a U.S. company. This is a global company. So you need to think about the scope of cryptocurrency. It is global with this report coming in. So let's look at some of these comments. Let's see who we got. Claire's Dennison. Price Friday prediction 6,300. Cool. Yep. I could definitely see that. Donald Muhammad. Yeah, he started Dogecoin as a joke back in the day. Caught steam, and here we go. Clarence Dennison, Bitcoin. Bcash is pumping. Yeah, people were talking about that yesterday. And, you know, Bcash always pumps right after Bitcoin does, simply because the money that's made from Bitcoin usually trickles down into altcoins and cryptocurrency. So I'm not surprising there at all. So that is our stories for today. Like I said, didn't want to hold you long. A couple of news stories to get out there for you, a little bit under the weather. But I want to make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio as well. Make sure you get on blockchainonline.com, sign up as a business or as an investor. Definitely looking to connect VCs with businesses as well as peer-to-peer loans and a blockchain syndicate fund, the first of its kind in the world. We're building that now. And we will have the signups, or the people that have signed up will start receiving emails later this month. So thank you all for watching today. Thank you all for watching, you know, repeatedly when we have to do a solo, when we have to, you know, do other business stuff. Appreciate all of you. And I'm definitely going to get some hot tea and, and get this cold up out of me so we can be good for tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Have a good one.